Good morning, Coastal. I'm so excited that you're joining us this morning. I'm actually going to be reading out of Esther chapter 5, verses 1 through 3. On the third day, Esther put on her royal robes and stood in the inner court of the palace, in front of the king's hall. The king was sitting on his royal throne in the hall facing the entrance. When he saw Queen Esther standing in the court, he was pleased with her and held out to her the gold scepter that was in his hand. So Esther approached and touched the tip of the scepter. Then the king asked, "What is it, Queen Esther? What is your request? Even up to half the kingdom, it will be given to you." Now, what's interesting is, just to give you a little backstory about this, is that standing in the king's court without being summoned could lead to death. And if the king hadn't extended his scepter out to Esther, she would have been put to death. But he did, and Esther touched the king's scepter and made a connection with him. And when I read this, I see that Esther walked into the court with confidence. Confidence that the God she serves is by her side and has everything under control. And it says here in verse 2, when the king saw Queen Esther standing, and I think that word standing is so key. Esther isn't trembling. She isn't, cringing or cowering before the king. She stands tall. What she's doing, she's standing tall, even though what she's doing has never been done before. She's standing tall in the confidence of the Lord. And not only does she stand confidently before the king and he extends his scepter to her, but he goes on to say and ask her, that what does she want? She could have anything, even half of the kingdom, it would be given to her, and I don't know about you, but if that question was asked to me, I think I'd have a list like a mile long of requests of things that I wanted, but not Esther. She knows what she wants, what her people need, but she also knows the timing isn't right. So she decides to wait and trust in God's timing. So that got me thinking, sometimes we know what we want when we receive a word from the Lord. We tend to jump the gun sometimes. We don't want to wait. We jump ahead. We do rash things. And we do and say things we sometimes later regret. But when we trust in the Lord, when we're confident in the God we serve, when we believe He has the best for us, when we wait on His perfect timing, everything will fall into place. A trust in God and His timing really is everything, even though it's really difficult. So I guess my question and kind of my challenge for you guys today is are we as in tune with God as Esther was? Are we confident in His ability to be God and the fact that He really is greater than any situation, that He isn't intimidated by our circumstances or our problems? Do we have the patience to wait on His timing, to trust it, which I know personally for me, patience is not my strong suit. But like it says in Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 7, there's a time for everything under the sun. So I just pray this morning, that we learn to be confident in the same God that created the heavens and the earth, who breathed life into us and, has our best interest in mind, and to just be confident knowing that His timing really is perfect. I just want to thank you guys again for joining us this morning, and I hope you have a fantastic day.